We're back.
We are back.
Yes, back again.
Some struggling. I need to move a little bit to you here. So,
Yeah, all right.
Cozy.
There we are.
Cozy end year reporting here.
Yes.
You can come a little bit.
Yeah, we'll run over
Okay.
since we're trying to get in there.
Yeah, you can go.
It's the other way around. All right. So, Dave, we'll let you take the stage here. We got a lot to go through today.
Indeed, we have a lot to go through. So, welcome back, everyone. Today we are having a reprise of 2023, and it's a year that when we decided to look back, it turned out we did an awful lot in 2023. So, apologies if this is a bit fast and furious, but we have a lot of information to get through, and we definitely don't want to bore you all to tears. I am the guy on the bike, Landon is the guy currently on the skates behind me. I'm not sure quite what Andy's up to, but he's up to something. But anyway, So let's start off. So maybe if we move slides across, Andy.
Yeah, so where do we at? We're on to the second slide there, Andy.
I'm the operator.
Running.
You told me that I shouldn't talk too much in the beginning. So
No,
you just tell me what I have to do.
We got a lot of slides to go through, and we got to stay on course here. Stay on course.
Absolutely. So the first big event of 2023 was the delivery of the Superseed GMTs, a project that had been at least a couple of years in the progression from the very start to the very end. And we, albeit unfortunately slightly late, but we caught up in the end. We got all of the Superseed GMTs delivered to all of those customers who were patiently waiting for them. Not far off 400 units, which was a pretty big accomplishment, it has to be said, considering there were 5/6 dial colours, various hand colours, different combinations of bracelets and straps, but we got there in the end, and we had all of those delivered in the early part of 2023.
Extreme Echo. We have an Extreme Echo, it says.
Sorry to cut you off there, Dave, but we're reading the comments here. We have an Extreme Echo. Somebody has
Where
said.
is the echo? Is the echo coming from your end or my end?
Oh, Arthur just deleted it.
You made us nervous.
Oh, Arthur, we had the same thing last time, and now, okay, thanks for retracting that statement. Okay, so Superseed GMT deliveries. Now, something else has happened in the last week is we have announced 20 additional pieces that have come available for the Superseed GMT.
Absolutely. So I think this is the first time in around, 6 months, if not slightly longer, that we've had any GMTs available, and we have a very small batch available for anyone that has missed out or might be interested in them. Every dial colour will be available except for the black, because obviously the black was a special reserve for the very early VIP customers, but they are available. You can still have a platinum rotor if you wish it. You can have various finishes, whether it's polished or brushed on the bracelet, and there are different rubber strap options there as well. Only full pay available in this batch, but you do get a choice of your rubber strap or band with the watch as you choose it, and you pay for it. So there are still a small number of those available. Delivery will also be in January 2024, so a mere 1 month from now.
You're getting better, obviously.
Yeah. And speaking of deliveries, there was another one that we delivered this year as well, which was the Lensman 1. Yeah, pre-order ended in January of 2023, and there was 200 watches in total that were that were allocated to individuals. This was a new direction for us. It was the first in the Lensman series. Obviously, we have Lensman 1, Lensman 2, and Lensman 1.1, and this was our step into the photography aspect of watchmaking and create something new, something that people haven't seen with the Cyclops over top of the Tourbillon cage. It was just something fun to do, and it actually turned out pretty amazing.
Yeah, and 200 is not bad.
No, that's very good.
Some people are asking, how many do you sell? Yeah, 200.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Surprise. When you offer a good price, then you probably also sell some more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, this one went down really well, and we had also later in the year a slightly different variant of it, as we only had 200 of the Lensman ones that were available, and they sold out. So we decided to offer a slightly different version, albeit closely related.
Yeah. We are flexible here, yeah.
Yeah,
that
which
was
was
for the 1.1, yeah.
Is the 1.1, which was very similar, albeit with the red applique
just a
infill
little
there.
bit red
So it's
in here, yeah.
a red infill on the appliques for the lume, albeit it still glowed the green at night, so the colour kind of luminesced in green on that one as well. Slightly different strap on there as well compared to what came with the original Lensman 1. And these ones were not limited edition in the same way as the Lensman 1 was. And again, these ones, still good numbers of these actually went through. Plenty of folk who missed out on the original went for this. And, you know, if you like this, you should keep your eyes open for sometime early in 2024 for something that might be related to this
Around
that comes
the
along
corner.
as well.
Just around the corner. And
the thing came with.
And yeah, the Lensman 1 shipped with a little side project.
Your side project.
A 200-page side project, which was a book. We thought, okay, we would put together.
that here.
Yeah, we got it right here.
Sure,
And
that
just got
here.
it there. Yeah, and this was we wanted to ship
I
something
love
extra
that
with.
side thing.
Yeah.
Printed around and.
So we
Super
wanted to
nice.
include something special for anybody who ordered the Lensman 1, and it's basically, as it's called, engineering Swiss made. It goes into
200 pages
Our
is
journey
insane.
has-
I mean,
yeah.
I saw you sweating.
yeah.
Like in the beginning, you said, "Are
Yeah,
you sure you
it's
want to do that?"
Well, it's meant to be much smaller.
Yeah, you have done that before several times. I
Yes.
remember in your former profession.
Yes.
That was an annual half year,
Yeah, it was 2 times a year.
2 times a year,
Yeah,
doing
2 times
something
a
like
year.
that. Yeah.
And I also worked at a magazine, so yeah, that's just what we did. But yeah,
Yeah.
you can get in there. You see Sylvan right there.
Yeah.
There we
Lots
go.
of big, beautiful
Everybody
pictures.
there,
So
nice pictures and yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
good old paper. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good old paper.
And it's worth
It's-
pointing out that this book came with that watch, but that book is also still available, as we did print a few copies, and it's available on the website. And anyone that would like one of the books, you can still find that available on the website.
great. And
Gerard is
Garrett
here.
is asking how many of the Lensman 1.1 will be made or have been sold if they're limited, Dave.
So the answer to that is they are not limited in the same way. The Lensman 1 was strictly limited to 200-piece release. The Lensman 1.1 is technically not limited. We will make as many as we get orders for at the end of the day. I think numbers-wise, currently we're over 100, I think, of those as well. So, you know, there's great numbers of those, but they are still available for anybody that's interested.
I mean, probably it will come down to minimum order quantity from case supplier, and then we need
Yeah.
to have a fresh look at the situation, because usually you need to buy 500 cases.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you can do the math and say, okay, if there's 300 kind of gone, then 200 cases left, and that will bring us kind of to where we need to make a decision. Yeah.
Yeah. And also with the Lensman 1, the original, as well as only being 200, it was more the package, because it also came with 2 straps, it came with the book, it was a kind of box set of different ingredients that made up that release as a limited edition. Whereas the 1.1, it's very much about the watch. It has a different strap, but it doesn't come with all those additional extras and those specific 200 case numbers.
Yeah.
And then
we continue the journey further down the photography rabbit hole. And we came out with the first ever sort of exposure calculator watch, which is Andy's wearing there today.
that's the first one.
That's the very first one.
Put
Very first
together,
prototype.
everything is off.
Yeah.
And people look at it and say, "Is there something wrong?" I say, yeah, it's the first prototype.
Yeah.
The feet
The
of
feet
the
were
hand,
good.
the feet on the dial were off, and they said, "Just put it together and give it to the boss."
Yeah. But it's super lightweight,
I
really
love
low
it.
profile,
I love it. It's
extremely comfortable.
It's an amazing watch, which is very different but not odd.
No.
And I think
a
that's
good way
the
to put
point.
it.
You know, you don't feel like a strange guy wearing something out of a different planet, and that's and super comfortable. I think it's probably the most comfortable watch I have been wearing. Usually I wear this
think,
Autark white
Yeah.
thing because I like light watches and thin, but this is a different game.
Yeah.
And it's using quite unusual materials, as well as the grade 5 titanium exoskeleton. This is a watch that the main case on it is a hardened aluminium case, which really helps to keep the weight down.
Bike
and makes it a
guys.
little bit different. Textural, yeah, absolutely. I think it's T6061 hardened
Yeah,
aluminium.
6061 hardened aluminium, ALSI. What was it? ALSI? Forgot it.
Yeah.
0.5.
This is definitely, if you're into bikes, you'll understand that. A material that the black colour is hard anodization. That's very different to a PVD.
You know, Dave, you need to go back into the bike business.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think no, absolutely not.
Okay, then next time you bring your bicycle, we go for a ride.
Yeah.
Good.
So we're moving along, and
But it was not just that watch. Huh?
it wasn't just that one. I mean, we had the yellow and we had the black, and then we did a special edition with Brian Griffin. Brian Griffin is
Let's look at that.
a legend in photography. I mean, he's had an incredible career, and he's worked with some of the most prolific film actors. He's worked with so many different individuals, whether it be musicians, which he got really well known for, as well as his corporate photography, working with different companies and their publications as well. And then later on, he went on to become a film director. So with Lensman 2, we're including within the Brian Griffin Special Edition is anybody who's ordered, they have the choice of selecting which photo packet they would like to have to go with it. And those watches are getting very, very close to shipping out the door, aren't they, David?
They are indeed. Sorry, I was just replying to someone's question there on the chat. But yes, these are very close. So the first batch of these are due to, hopefully, fingers crossed, ship between Christmas and New Year. The watchmakers have just been finishing up with their fine-tuning and checks and QC checks of these, and the all-new special packaging, I believe, is imminently about to arrive as well. So yeah, happy days.
Yeah, Garrett, you can definitely plug the article that you've written on the Brian Griffin Lensman. Drop the link right in here. And
you should have been in London when we have been there.
Yeah.
That's what we're showing here.
That's where we are.
Because you told me we need to be fast today, so...
Yeah, and there we are. We obviously we're working with Brian, who's based in Rotherhithe in London, and we went basically next door to where he lives and put on an event, and Brian told an immense amount of stories. We had his work on display there, and of course we mixed and mingled with all the watch enthusiasts from Red Bar and other individuals that were on the RSVP list.
And we drank a lot of beers. I remember.
We drank a lot.
Oh, never.
It's fair to say. I think it's fair to say, Landon, yourself and myself took the theme of being suited to a different dimension.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, are we going to see any of those suits come up? I'm not sure.
Hopefully, but if they don't come up, I took it literally, and I looked like Kermit the Frog in a very bright green Kermit the Frog style suit, and it was made out of denim. And Landon took it literally and wore a boiler suit.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, wear a suit.
Handsome looking, still all the same, Landon.
Yeah, exactly. Never. Yeah.
And this event was amazing because so many of the people there, whether they were from the arts, photography, or the watch background.
Yeah, it was not completely watch distorted. It was kind of not inbreeding.
Yeah, it wasn't just watches. We had a very diverse community there, and it was like you were going to say there, Dave, to hear Brian tell those stories.
Brian can hold an audience, that's for sure.
And then we have been off to nearly around the world halfway trip thing.
We hopped in the airplane the next day, and we went to Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was a painful morning.
Yeah, I think we were all falling asleep.
And we were getting out of the plane and right into that gathering, and it was full of people. And actually, I remember too, forgot that it was at this day.
Okay.
Kind of, and we were too late and super rush, and then everybody was there, and we were unpacking our stuff. But everybody took it easy, and people enjoyed it, and continued to drink champagne and red wine.
Yeah, super nice event.
Yeah, and Ming, I mean, just a little bit background. Ming Watch Channel, he started. Actually, he's a piano player, professional piano player, and during COVID, there's not much to play. and he started a second-hand kind of trading business. You call that, I think, CPO.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, pre-owned watches.
Yeah, pre-owned stuff. And out of that, during COVID, he managed to build a whole business with, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 employees. And he's making good content. And we got to know him. And he said, why can I not be your concierge? And, and he's definitely into the whole thing, both in photography and in watches, and really doing a good job. So hopefully we can come back to Hong Kong, and off we went to. You went to Singapore.
You guys went
we,
to
we,
Taipei.
we did a split.
Yeah,
we did
We
a
did
split.
a split at this point, yes, and Landon and myself took on the mantle of Singapore. And
What is that?
Singapore,
That's Dave drinking from the fountain. Yeah.
Dave was drinking the Kool-Aid. It was such a fetching photograph that Landon decided to take of me. Not that I was probably playing to the camera, but yes. It has to be said, little David is not designed for the kind of humidity and temperatures that he experienced.
He was melting the entire time. Yeah, luckily there was gin, so he could.
I see it. Kermit is also here.
Kermit was also there, so
I have another Kermit here.
they brought by Kermit. Yes, there we are.
There is Kermit.
There we go.
The gift collection
Exactly.
is running high today.
A great event, that one as well, where we got to meet with quite a wide variety of press who are based in Singapore. Big watch culture in Singapore for sure. So we got to talk to the press there, and we also had some great.
There's a lot of laughter here.
Lots of collector communities there as well.
Yeah, so we
Singapore
did.
is interesting. It's like an island.
Yeah,
It's not an island, but it is in itself culturally an island.
It feels like it. It's really a great place.
Yeah.
And we had 2 meetups. There was it 2 meetups, Dave, or 3? It was 2. We had Red Bar and Red Bar and TWCA, correct?
Yep, that's right.
And
then we went to Red Bar.
we have
Red
been in
Army watches.
Taipei already. Red Army watches.
Yeah.
You also did another one there.
Yeah, that's where Kermit's sitting.
That's where the
Directly in the store.
Kermit is sitting and holding what a nice bottle of wine, I guess.
Indeed. So again, a retail partner over in Singapore, which is Red Army Watches. So we met up and met some of their customers, a few of whom had already purchased watches from us.
Then we hopped in the plane.
Back to Taipei, where I have already been, and because my family is there.
Yeah.
Since our big boss is from Taiwan, now equipped with a Swiss passport. It's when we go to Taiwan, it's going home. I mean, it's not. It's kind of a home turf game. And it was good fun.
Myself.
Myself
as well. I got to meet a friend that I have not seen probably in 20 plus years, probably 25 years. A friend of mine who moved to Hong Kong, but then had moved to Taipei, so I got to meet him as well.
Yeah, and we had a nice inner photography museum actually. Or kind of in a museum.
No, it was an arts museum.
Museum place, and we had presentation there. Got some small good Taiwan food, delicious stuff like always. I mean, if you need food treatment, go to Taiwan. And people looked at it, and afterwards we went into a crazy Japanese style barbecue thing.
That's where you have Kevin Lowe there in the middle with the bottle of schnapps there. The bartender or the owner of the restaurant decided that he was going to
join the drinking
party and try
accelerate it actually,
and consume as much as everybody else at the table, which didn't turn out to be that.
Didn't we forget a suitcase?
Yeah, I lost my bag.
Yes. It has to be said, watching the head chef cooking on open coals whilst drinking vigorously was a sight to behold.
But people saw watches.
And everybody enjoyed it.
Everybody had fun.
And that's what it's about, And then off again to
the next day to Shanghai. Yeah.
So we shouldn't talk about the carbon footprint here, but I think it was necessary after so many years of locking ourselves down. Yeah, we didn't do anything. Yeah.
Plane was going there anyway.
And then we went to Shanghai, into an amazing, visiting Zero, that's his name.
Yeah.
Famous guy
in the middle.
Shanghai.
Yeah.
He owns 4 fashion brands or something like this. And he has in the middle of Shanghai, in French Quarter, kind of a nice place, a pretty nice
Oh, you
place.
see it right there in the picture on the far right there. It's,
So
it's
that's
amazing.
the bar,
Yeah.
and it's kind of a private club or something. Yeah, you can go there, and then the first floor you will see a lot of nice watches, not only ours but a lot of other stuff too.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had good presentation, good conversation, and also a couple of drinks.
Yeah, I think it would be fair to say that his watch collecting habits are more problematic probably for him than many. He has many watches.
So we need to bump up Dave's microphone a little bit.
Yeah,
I've clicked it up a little bit, so hopefully that's better.
I can also move you
Okay,
up a
there we
little
go.
bit.
That
so
should do it there.
Good.
And then we did a second event in Shanghai.
Yeah.
So this was the
Another
first
one.
night, and then the very next day we did an event at a photography museum. So
Yeah.
there was it's 2 floors, this museum, and
I think it is the most well-equipped museum across photography, and not only Chinese photography but also Western photography. When it all started, how Leica and Hasselblad actually kind of inspired Chinese photography industry, and we saw a lot of companies. I learned there were times when there were 54 camera companies in China. Yeah, 50.
Yeah, it was unbelievable to see.
Yeah.
The museum in itself was amazing.
And they had
What was the
an
scene?
assembly place there, and molds where you see how they made the lenses, and it's a really very well done museum, I have to say. So could spend some more time there, and we didn't drink that much.
I think we were quite tired at the end of this one.
I think the fact that it was lunchtime probably
Yeah.
played to that.
Yeah, but we got amazing. Before that, we got these Shanghainese dumplings, which I love.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
they're a little bit more
Oh,
thicker
yeah.
dough,
Yeah.
and there's some soup inside.
Andy and food.
Yeah.
Don't question it. That's his happy
If-
place. Yeah.
Yeah, if nobody's worked out by now, Andy and Sue, the big boss, food is definitely their thing.
Love goes through the stomach, you say in German, or is this what do you say in English? Liebe geht durch den Magen.
Food, what is it? Food is where the heart is.
Yeah, and business is the same. Okay, so and then we
flew
went
back.
home.
Yeah.
And what happened then?
Then Brian came down. Yeah, with
It was
Ravi.
just a week afterwards, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So
a week
Yeah.
afterwards.
Ravi and Brian, here
Yeah.
you see them, and we decided actually to shoot all our team. It was kind of a combination deal, doing the limited edition, and then said, yeah, what do we do? Why not making really nice pictures as a memory for everybody who's working in our company? And it turned out to be an amazing week, and I learned a lot about how to engineer a picture. It's not
Yeah.
just making a picture. It's really meticulously putting the light in the place where you want to have it, and he always looked at you like this, like,
Yeah.
in order to
Yeah.
make you do something very tiny and you do not recognize it.
Hey, he's making art. It's not just
Yeah.
making or taking photograph. It's you're actually making art and you're presenting.
And the two as a team, they worked amazingly
fantastic.
together.
And Ravi was there for his birthday, so this was his
Yeah,
birthday.
it was
dessert
birthday in the
right there,
garden, sitting in our garden,
Yeah.
where we also have our annual garden party usually, where all the suppliers are coming. Yeah. So
And then the week after that,
the week after that, it went crazy.
they went full on documentary filming.
That was it was all together. I think in the beginning it was nearly 12 people,
Yeah, 12, 14.
14 people
14
on the
people.
set.
Mhm.
It was a full-on high professional Oscar style
Yeah.
filming exercise.
Yeah, Nicky, the guy with the camera there, he's sitting in the middle. He's a friend of mine, and
This
we
guy
used to
here.
work a lot together when we were younger. I
Yeah.
had my camera, and he had his video camera, and we would follow around skateboarders in the street and make our films. And he went, and I would send the images to magazines, and he went on to, this last year he won an Oscar for the film called, for the documentary on Navalny. So it was really a professional team to work with out of Austria, and we had an incredible time. It was an experience, that's for sure.
And we will do another one.
Yeah,
Definitely.
have to
So,
keep that
definitely.
going.
And then, back to product.
Back to product.
So we found a couple
Yeah.
of plates.
Yeah.
We found a couple of plates in. The story is like that. We promised the people who did the Tourbillon 1 that they will actually also be able to own such a watch. And this was always delayed. Our own employees, And because of that, we.
Speaking of which, they get theirs
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yeah. So it took a little time, and and within this exercise, we said, okay, there's a couple of parts left over. So many people are asking if they can have another one, and we said, we probably could do 30, and then completely we had to make a couple of parts more, and now everything is completely gone and everybody's happy.
Yep.
And the next
And
thing.
we've literally just about completed shipping that last little drop batch, I think. In fact, Landon, you were hand carting a small batch up from the atelier up to Celine, who deals with all of our logistics and shipping, and she was sending out a little batch today. So
and
anyone that's still
yesterday-
waiting may well get a FedEx shipping notification in the coming hours.
I was walking the streets of Beale with 10 tourbillons in my bag, all the way back up to Celine, so she could pack them up and send them off. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then it doesn't stop. Man, are we busy, And we don't talk anything about manufacturing.
No,
today,
nothing about manufacturing.
We
This is
probably
just
do
ours.
another recap 2023. And then
Superseed date. We
This-
continued with the Superseed story. We had finished delivering all the GMTs, and people had asked us for something along the lines of a date complication, and we just went a little bit further. We included the jump hour set, that we had from the GMT, and came out with two really cool dial colors that are definitely aquatic themed. And it's, for me personally, the Superseed date is the watch that I gravitate towards, and between the two.
I 100% agree with you, Landon. For me, the C-Note Blue dial date is just such a great looking watch. In terms of, if you're looking for a real value pack proposition, this is the one. 904L steel going on in there, 200 meter water resistance, screw down crown, great bracelet, micro adjust clasp, everything that most folk could look for in a day-to-day wear watch is packed into that at a amazing price point for a micro rotor movement watch.
Yeah. And then we got a little bit crazy. I mean, this has been
for everybody's purse.
Yeah.
Definitely for everybody's purse. That is.
This was a project that was multiple years in the making. I mean, when did you start this?
Effectively, I would say it started with our quest into the whole silicon escapement stuff.
2011.
More than 10 years ago.
2012?
2011.
Yeah.
Some kind of, because we thought we might need to look into the whole coating side of things, and then it turned out that it's not necessary, but the guy was pulling out the diamond, saying, I can make a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Said, what? Cool, in that machine. And that's real, it's real. And so we investigated several years the whole landscape of how actually to make diamonds in a reactor, in a plasma called CVD, chemical vapor deposition. And the first thing was to figure out how to control the supply chain, because you can make the nicest product if you can make it afterwards. And there's a lot of things to take care of, not only the growth of the stones, but how do you process everything. And then you need to find partners who are willing to do that, because this industry is not always, let's say, honest. Can I get rid of that? So not everybody wanted to get involved into that, and but finally we made it to that level, and the product has 101 diamonds on it, and altogether 17 point something carat.
Yeah, close to.
So we needed to cut down for more than 40 carats to get to that invisible setting. I think we wanted to do this to show what can be done. What is the highest level we can achieve when it comes to jewelry type watches? And I mean, it's not only for girls, we have requests from guys also, because it just looks incredibly nice. And it's the beginning of hopefully a story of a sustainable a better story when it comes to diamonds, because diamonds are nice. Yeah, it's a nice material. They have this refractive properties. They have this fire which others don't have. But yeah, the story is not so cool. And now we have a story which we can believe in, and we know 100% where it comes from.
Yeah,
and that is important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when we showed certain members of the press this at our Ronda event that we'll talk about, Scarlett, I think she was probably pretty convinced she wanted to just run away with it. She was quite taken.
That's her in the picture right there on the left with Sue. She's looking.
Make it a little bit bigger here. So the funny thing was, we have Gerard here. Yeah. Who's writing for Fratello watches.
Correct.
Yeah, for Fratello,
So we had people from Fratello, Monochrome, One and Wound,
Time and Tide,
Isochrono, and Opulent Media, which is Oracle Time.
Yeah, Oracle Time, and Scarlett.
Scarlett, writing for GQ, and I think, I'm not so deeply into the media landscape, but we decided to make our first ever media event, call it like that. And we went to Ronda because it's a nice place, and we launched all these products in our Mission Independence project. And we decided to not only invite media people, but the entire team. So all our, except Priska, she was sick, and Jonas got a baby. They actually could not come, but the rest you see there was there for a short trip, and we all enjoyed it. And I think also the media people enjoyed it, because we don't hide. I mean, everybody is free to talk to everybody whatever he wants. We have nothing to hide in our company. Why should we hide our stuff from media? No reason.
Absolutely. And I think Gerard will probably be attest to this, where I think we did it slightly differently to how many might do a press event, where we announced huge amounts of information to them about where we've been and where we're going as well. And I think it really gave an opening to many of these people about what we do and why we do it.
Yeah, one of the watches that we launched there, because we talked about a number of products, was Tourbillon 2. Yeah. And this, Dave, actually, first time he came over to Switzerland to visit us, we had already started working on the dial production. So you were a fly on the wall. Yeah.
Absolutely, indeed. So the Tourbillon 2 is, I guess, the sibling to the original Tourbillon 1, so utilising a very similar case design, albeit we've managed to get the thickness down even more. Tourbillon 1 is not a thick watch, but we've got this one down to the under 10mm area, so super thin, and with two very different dials on there, one being a kind of very techie dial done with a femto laser, that being the blue one that you're seeing on the screen now, where there's been lots of modern technology used to enable that to be made, and the other, a very, very traditional Grand Fou enamel style dial, which has been made with one of our partners who are one of the most established manufacturers of Grand Fou dials in Switzerland. So very different aesthetics to this watch. And we have brought back the precious metal, so you can either have the stainless steel case, or you can have the yellow light rosa gold, or there's a white gold option here. and we decided to let people choose which dial they wished with which material, which was, again, a big internal debate. Do we restrict the Grand Feu only to precious metal? But we thought in the end, why not? If you want steel and Grand Feu, then who are we to argue?
Yeah. And so, we announced that watch there. We also announced the diamond watch there. We're going to come up to it in a few moments here, but we also told the media about the upcoming Autark Tourbillon and the Ktmr micro rotor tourbillon movement.
Just go in there. We did the Lensman 1 also. Huh?
Yeah, and we also had the Lensman 1 pound. Yeah.
Made a draw here, using one of our using the samples like always in order to make some people happy.
Yes.
And they were actually happy people.
Yeah, so we raised funds for the British Centre for Photography, and that's actually one event that we left out of this presentation, David, but it was one that we had in London at the beginning of November, where we were actually in the centre with Brian Griffin, who actually made the connection. When I had asked him, we would like to do some sort of prototype giveaway and donate the funds to an organization. He said it has to be the Centre for British Photography, which is already a registered charity in the UK. And it was a wonderful event. And
and the nice thing is, the person who got the watch, he actually donated additional money directly to the.
Now, was he the one that only donated £1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's possible.
And
so lucky shot.
The amazing thing about that was he reached out almost instantaneously. I don't think he could quite believe that his name had been pulled out of the randomizer and that he had won something. And he just felt, I guess guilty is the wrong word, but he felt so happy that he had won it that he felt he had to add some more to the charity donation, which was a really generous move by him. And we had a great event there. Again, like the other event we'd done with Brian, not a watch orientated event. I watched very much about the arts, crafts, photography, along with watches, and I think many of the people that were there got a bit of an eye opener as to a different world that maybe they're not used to.
And then we did the obvious.
Then came in the Grand Slam here. Yeah.
Grand Slam.
Then we jumped from the frying pan straight into the fire.
And that's called Ktmr, Tourbillon micro rotor.
Yeah.
The obvious thing we have to do is finally to blend our two movement technologies, constructions into one piece and do the thing which everybody is asking and assuming already, and that's what we are doing right now. And we launched that, and not just the movement. It's probably we pulled a little bit forward than we thought, but we thought it's the right thing to do and introduce this movement first. Why does it stop here?
Sure. Just
give
up on us there.
Just enjoy looking at that.
Yeah, but the movement is that's the first thing that we need to take care of, because without a movement, you don't have a watch.
Yeah.
So it just made sense that we announced the movement first, and the team is working on it. Marcus is working through any of the he's doing basically troubleshooting right now and ensuring that
redesign, small details, making it more easy, mainly plates. The whole functional side, and most of the functional side we know, because it has been used in two different calibers, and we just blend it together, and they anyhow share a lot of parts. But we want to have our first samples as soon as we can, and therefore it's about the plates, and there's a lot of small details. Is a corner here, a chamfer there, there's probably a mistake there, we didn't see that, there's a collision there, and we just need to iron out. But it's not, I would say it's not a fundamentally unknown exercise. It's just trying to get it right as quickly as possible for the first time. Yeah, and usually you can strap a movement on your wrist. That means we launched the watch to that.
Yes.
Which is called Autark Tourbillon, the natural successor of the regular Autark. And once again, I think this name stands for the way we look at our business, trying to be independent, and we hope that we can raise enough funds in order to invest further into projects like this, into our manufacturing independence, because that's what it is all about. It is not just making a watch to sell it, it's about being enough powerful to manufacture most of the things by ourselves in order to reduce dependencies and ship faster and faster and faster when we actually sell something. And that's what Autark stands for.
Yeah, and so it is available for pre-order right now each week. What's going off here? Oh yeah, okay.
Eggs are ready.
You know that guy, Arthur.
It's
I forgot you in the last meeting.
Yeah.
Now, how do I switch that off? Okay, good. I said it somewhere at halftime.
Yeah, so we just passed halftime, and with that, we were just talking about the Autark Tourbillon, the pre-order that's going on. We're continuing to keep it open. It's open for...
Yeah, it's a new thing. I mean,
Yeah.
usually we did launch projects and then we opened and closed the pre-orders 3 times, and somehow I thought, isn't there a better way? Not everybody knows. Most of the people, I mean, we have no market share at the end of the day. We are nobody in the world of watches when it comes to volume or something like this. So needless to say, people need to discover us, and that takes time. And usually that happens because people like Gerhard is writing about us, and people read this, or people talk about us and say, hey, I got this watch from those guys, and they talk to the friends, and this takes time. And very often the people come back to us and say, yeah, I didn't know about you, and now the pre-order is closed, and then there's a whole exercise. And then we said, why not leaving it open? But we the ones who come first get served first, and the ones who come later can enter. And they don't need to wait, but they pay a little bit more. So every week we increase steadily the price over the next 10 months, but it's constantly open, and it's fun.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a fair way to do it. The early adopters get absolutely the best price we can offer. And we very, very slowly, incrementally raise the price over the coming weeks. So even if you learn about it only 5-6 weeks in, the difference is not huge. We're not taking huge leaps into the price raising.
Yeah.
So but yeah, great way to do it, and we've seen lots of folk kind of get on board with it. Some people like to wait a little longer to make sure they've made the right decision. So yeah, great way to do it.
And we did.
And with the new movement, there is the closing of another.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds a little bit dramatic,
It is.
There is a company called Bremont, which is using K1 based movement. There is some parts out there. We use parts from that. What we wanted to say is we do not build new watches on this movement, and that's why we kind of phase it out. But nobody should be worried. We have enough parts. Everything can be repaired. So it's a good way to get into our brand and own something from us with a better price, and potentially have something really rare down the road in 10, 15, 20 years, who knows. But nobody needs to worry that there might be no parts, because core componentry is being used in K2 and so on and so on.
Yeah.
And probably some others also, which we will learn next year.
And this was a fundamental development approach from the earliest days, to have a modular kind of kit of parts in a movement that can be utilized in other areas.
I have been moving you because you were actually.
I've ascended to the upper right hand.
And so now, that's a pretty packed.
It's a pretty big year.
And as I said, we should not forget that we invested into gear cutting machinery, into a CNC mill, into turning, which empowers us to, from knowledge point of view, produce 70% of the parts in-house, just the machining side of things. We have been doing the rest anyhow before. But now we have been through this learning curve, still learning more and more, and the next step will be to increase capacity of machining, because I did the simple numbers, and when you look at the lathing process, we have 60 parts in a movement, 70 parts turning, gear cutting, And and when you need 90 seconds per part, and you make 3,000 set run, then you need 220 days to finish a set of parts. And logically, one machine will not be enough. So you need to do that parallel. Have 2 machines, you have the half. Have 3 machines, you need 70 days to finish a set of parts for movements. Just that people get an idea, where the problem is when you have a lot of parts, and you need to consecutively make them on one machine. That doesn't help a lot. But we will talk about that for sure in some other lives.
Yeah.
Okay.
Timescales is definitely something we should investigate, because I don't think it's an area that many people necessarily totally understand. So I think it would definitely be great to touch on that in the future.
Yeah, I mean that's what I think anyhow, that we need to dedicate a lot of lives to, and not need, we want to dedicate a lot of lives to really talks. We will also invite people from us like Sylvan and Lenny, who did some nice presentations in our event in Ronda, really technical inside know-how, which will be very interesting to listen to, even to us as we know it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So before we jump to the next one, we're getting
There's always a
closer
surprise.
to the end here, but we have a surprise.
Yeah, surprises
Because
are
as everybody knows, the Autark Tourbillon is it's a product development journey.
Yeah.
And so with that, we have updates that come along. We listen to the community.
Shall I press that button?
Very carefully, and you can push the button.
Yeah, you can show us.
And one of the additions that we have are some straps. So we have some on this page, we'll have some on the next page. But what you see here is the black leather strap that will accompany those who paid the full price, at pre-order. They'll get that additional one, and those that would like to order later on, they'll be able to purchase that in the store. It's not available yet, but it'll be coming available within the next month or so.
And we have some here to look at it.
Oh yeah, yes.
Not on this, not on the watch, not on the Autark, but on the
actual first Autark.
Generation 2 Autark.
T5.
Which will be the new Autark is Generation 3.
Yes.
Okay. Just that I get it right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall I try? Because last time we got this echo thing.
Let's see
Black
if it works.
magic face. Let's see if we see any. Yeah. And these are these straps.
Leather straps there. We'll just maybe just turn up that brightness there
a little bit. Yeah.
There we are.
There we go.
No.
We have the black leather, and we have the brown as well. And there'll be a grey as well. Yeah.
So structurally, these are very similar to the straps that
Yeah.
will be made for the new Autark Tourbillon. The main difference being that the linkage join between the strap and the case will be slightly different. It will be a method where the strap directly fits to the case. It won't have this little articulated link in there. And we'll also...
I like that link, by the way.
I quite like it personally, but I think the aesthetics amongst us like the idea of a nice clean fit into the case. And we're also going to be utilising the new deployment clasp that we've been developing that first saw the light of day on the new Tourbillon 2. And I'm not sure, Landon, did you manage to get
By the way,
one?
beautiful watch, huh?
Get which the new deployment clasp? No, I don't have one here.
Yes. Well, let's see if David can magic this up.
Dave, all the way in Glasgow.
Let's see if Dave can make magic happen. There we go.
Oh, there we are, Dave.
Wait. I need to make you bigger.
Yeah, Dave needs to take over the screen here.
Yeah.
This is the new deployment clasp that we have been developing. This is a carbon fiber clasp, so super lightweight, with the stainless steel end on it, the two little carbon buttons, and the big trick of this one here is if it focuses, we can see this little button here that allows for micro adjustments.
Fair to say it's not our development. I need to correct you, Dave.
Yep.
We work
Yep.
together with a supplier, and this will be seen in other brands also, because at the end of the day we need to also think about where is our core competence and what are we best at. We can't spread out too thin. And we think that's a very good product.
It is very good.
The price
As you can see
is
here,
acceptable,
with my fingers.
and
you have
Yeah,
the 10
correct.
millimeters of adjustment on the micro clasp.
Yes,
This
it's also,
single
we
button
can
here.
say, there's, the Formex is using that also. And to be precise, the father of Raphael, the owner of Formex, is actually producing that clasp.
Yep.
And he's long time in the business and supplying probably, I don't know, half of the industry with clasps and bracelets.
Yeah.
Super nice family, really, really good people.
And just down the road from
And
us.
Down the road from us.
Yeah.
And as you can see here, the 2 buttons will release the clasp, as so. And when it's done up, just using one of the buttons will allow the adjustment of the strap for longer and shorter, while still maintaining a super slim profile on there as well. So that is the new clasp that will be featuring firstly on the Tourbillon 2 with the precious metal cases and the salmon leather strap, and will also feature on the Autark Tourbillon when you're utilizing the leather straps.
Good. I want to see your
There
face
we go.
again.
My
All
face is
right,
back.
there you are back.
Oh, nearly.
So essentially, that's it for the show today, right? We've covered everything.
I think that pretty much covers everything else. We
Yeah, we had
have
a lot.
a massively feature-packed 2024 coming up, it has to be said. There are at least as many projects afoot as we have completed or opened up this year. So 2024, it looks to be another super exciting year, with obviously the main part of the Autark Tourbillon journey coming out through 2024, where hopefully relatively early in the year we're going to show you some developments with the movement, and not long after that hopefully the case as well, and then we will move forward through the year with production.
All right. Well, should we sign off for this?
That was a pretty serious life thing.
That was a
here.
pretty serious. That's
What
a lot of
about the
stuff here.
titanium bracelet? Titanium bracelet.
Titanium bracelet.
Standard.
With the
With
Autark
Autark,
Tourbillon.
yeah.
It's
That's
standard.
That's
yeah.
standard. That's standard.
standard.
Well, it comes as standard, but I think it's worth pointing out that it will have, and I can maybe show this, it will have a clasp that is very similar to the clasp we use on the Superseed. That is a very slim clasp that again will have micro adjust on it. So you've got the 10 millimeters of micro adjust.
And that's our own
there.
thing.
And that this one is completely our own, and this one will be in, I believe, a titanium version of this. This is stainless steel, a titanium version of this that will be utilised on the Autark bracelet. Very similar aesthetic design, but obviously in titanium, with the slightly different fixing as to where it will affix to the watch head.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Then,
We are done.
no.
Oh no! Unfortunately, Dr. Evil it is. Yeah. Or sharks with laser beams. I mean.
Yeah. We need a little bit of a laugh here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the stuff which we are using on the dials.
Yeah.
Yeah. Laser beams.
Exactly.
Don't talk about laser. It gives me headache. This laser machine stuff.
But what they're able to do with it, it's pretty.
Yeah, we
incredible.
can do crazy stuff, but buying that stuff is so expensive. I mean, buy a femtosecond laser and they ask you 600,000 Swiss francs upwards. I mean, 600,000. You're not talking about what is a
You haven't even bought the shark.
yen or something
know?
like this. I mean, you're talking about Swiss francs.
Yeah.
And that's we know how to do that, how to operate that stuff, but we are not yet there in order to own something like this, and potentially I think it's also a little bit too expensive, so the guys need to come down with prices. Good.
Okay. Well,
Sounds like we are off.
Dave.
Well, I think all we have to say is Happy Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, happy Christmas.
Oh,
that was
I made you
2023.
bigger somehow.
2024 is going to be a big one.
I need to make the magic move again. Wait.
Woo.
Yeah, there's magic toys in, now I resized you.
There we go. So yeah, 2024, exciting year. I hope everyone has a great festive break, whether that's New Year or Christmas, whatever takes your fancy. And hopefully we'll see you all early in the new year for another live
Yeah. Then I stop that broadcast. Bye
Over and
bye.
out. Bye bye.